Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here in Foley Square, Southern District of New York Courthouse. Today, Friday, January 6th, 2023. We're going to be covering at 10 a.m. the sentencing of Jen Shah of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We've been covering the case mostly because we stumbled on it as a telemarketing fraud case. Actually, two cases, Chidi and Ketabachi. Earlier this week, somebody got resentenced in Ketabachi. We wrote that one. But the main thing, as it got closer to the sentencing, was the outrageous redaction requests of Jen Shah and her counsel, Priya Chowdhury. Her own statement, forget, they've tried to say that it's somehow complying with court rules. I've tweeted a picture of it. You can take a look at it. Basically, her own statement to the court is more than half redacted, just whole paragraphs blacked out. It's an attempt to whisper to the judge of why she should get 3 years instead of 10. So we asked to unseal it, and the Judge Stein, ordered that they respond by yesterday at noon. Well, Priya Chowdhury's response was, this complies with all the rules, and if the judge is going to rule elsewhere otherwise, she's going to withdraw the requests. I did a reply saying you can't withdraw it. It's a judicial document. You've already asked the judge to consider it for this lighter sentence. So we'll see what happens at 10 o'clock. I'm going to be up there. It's in the top floor of the building that's directly behind me. Also, on the Sam Bankman-Fried front, the attempt to keep the co-signers confidential. We filed with Judge Kaplan. It's in the docket, but yesterday in the magistrate's court, as it happened, we stumbled on an exclusive story. Neil Phillips, a hedge funder charged with manipulating the cost of the South African rand and U.S. dollar, was flown in to JFK at 2:30 p.m., arraigned and allowed to fly back to the UK. That's a whole nother story. But his co-signers' names were given in open court, and we published them. So why should Bankman-Fried be getting special treatment after the thefts that he's engaged in? Even Bernie Madoff's names were public. Okay, what more to be said? Well, we covered the United Nations, and I will say this is in more serious news. The Ukraine war just goes on. There was a somewhat cynical ceasefire offer by Putin. It was turned down by Ukraine. Antonio Guterres, the Secretary General, has said nothing. Why? Because he's just wants to cash the checks. He's banned the press from the UN, and he's cashing the checks while people die. To be continued.